Anyway, let's park it there because that's where you're at the moment.
Yeah.
And I want to roll back and take you back to one of your first memories, and if you can describe, if you can remember, what one of your first memories was. So.
Well, yeah. There are quite a few, I guess, but
It doesn't have to be one. It can be a couple.
yeah. I just remember back to, again, sort of not to sort of over focus on the Nigeria sort of experience, but it must have been a Tuesday. It would have been a Tuesday because we were kind of going to Bible study, and we had a sort of quite a few sort of people my age in the same car going home.
So how old are we talking?
Gosh, you're testing me now.
Yeah.
Probably I would say it's sort of 7, 8, 9.
Right. Yeah.
But it was a moment. I guess what I'm saying, it was a moment of joy.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like coming close to 40 now, I'll always just remember that moment. There was just something about it. We were just like, it was a few of my friends. An adult would have obviously been in the car. There was a driver. We were kind of going home, and people were kind of getting dropped off. But I just remember
It was a community moment of bonding.
And these are obviously people I see all the time.
Yeah.
But I just always remember that moment of driving past. It was like a 30-minute drive home from where the church was, but just being really happy that I was around like friends and like we were talking about other friends and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I say often on this that often when I ask that question to people, it's often attached to an emotion.
Yeah.
And clearly the emotion is one of comfort, of feeling secure, feeling like I'm surrounded by people
absolutely.
who love me.
Yeah.
That's, and actually it sounds as if you've had that solid base of security and sort of a family that loves you through your life. And it sounds like you're passing that on now to
absolutely, and then
your children,
and not just my kids, just like kids.
Yeah,
because in our setting, when we sort of hear about young people who perhaps have had to go into, being supported by foster carers or whatever,
criminal justice system,
then you kind of realise that actually what you had was it was unique in a sense, and those sort of moments shape who you are. They help you build the confidence that you need, but actually not everyone has that. And how do we ensure that people have that strong
and
sense?
then if they've missed out on that, how do we make sure that they find some security somewhere as well? Cool. And another early memory or
just like, again, I remember again, the detail goes past me, but I was just talking to a huge crowd, I say huge, hundreds of people, and I must have been about 9, and I was talking, I think my school had selected me to talk about sort of health inequalities in Nigeria or whatever, but again, that was another moment. And then my grandma at the time heard me on the radio, and she like spoke to me after to say she was really proud of me or whatever.
Hearing that,
and again, I sort of talked to my parents and my siblings about it, but it's these sort of moments that you can kind of.
And do you remember sort of standing on the stage and
yeah.
Was that nerves or was
Not
that
at all.
Quite a lot of confidence?
Very,
for standing up and saying what you think. That's good. I think that's
so. It's interesting how like those early childhood moments sort of shape who you are, and once you sort of connect to that, you're like, actually, this is kind of what I'm supposed to be. Doing.
This is where I'm
purpose.
at. And just tell me a bit about your faith journey as well, because you basically were brought up in a Christian household, and then your faith has developed. I guess, was there a moment where you sort of, this makes sense for me, or was it just one of those growing things that?
It always has, and I think I'll probably say I'm in quite an interesting sort of phase with my faith. But I'll probably say in the past 10 years, it's matured. So growing up, it's always, and my parents haven't always been Christians, but they found a faith, and so growing up, I'd say grew up in church, and those values have really helped with my foundation.
The foundations of that.
Okay. But over time, it's about searching.
For your own, finding your own journey in your own place,
and being able to feel like the questions you have are answered. And it's just interesting. I think about the knowledge, and even the Bible talks about knowledge and seeking knowledge, and sometimes wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, and sometimes all of that stuff.
Yeah,
it can just create more questions.
And do you preach at church, or are you that?
I used to. Yeah. Oh.
It's interesting. The reason I ask you that, because maybe so I have preached at church, and I've I've given testimony and stuff like that, and I was quite comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
When I said my first speech in the council chamber, you may not have experienced this, but it is a very different environment. And I found myself, whereas I was quite natural talking in church, all of a sudden it was a different experience, and I found myself probably nervous.
Right.
And I've then tried to work out how come I can do this in front of a church audience, but I find it harder in the council chamber.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've experienced the same, but whether you have any reflections on that at all?
Yeah, and again, I think there is a difference. When you're sort of preaching or teaching in church, you're being sort of vulnerable, because that's what the faith is. And actually, the more you open up, the more things come in, right? Yeah. Where I guess with politics, it's a bit different. As politicians, actually, you're probably taught to be guarded a bit, because people can exploit that and use that.
So I think my reflection over the years is that generally when you're talking in church, now you can be challenging, and you should be challenging, but the audience is generally supportive.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas when you're talking in the council chamber, you're very aware that half people there are going to be saying, what you're saying is rubbish. So it's that sort of adversarial thing, I think. Although Jesus, I think, was very good at actually dealing with both, wasn't he? Because he had the adversary, be in the marketplace and have adversaries sort of throwing challenges at him, and at the same time he was preaching as well.
Absolutely,
there's definitely a balance.
There is a balance and similarities as well, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just move on. What are some of your happiest memories you think you've had in life? Two or three of the happiest times or experiences?
Yeah, I'll probably say when I had my daughter.
Yeah. Is that your first child? Was your daughter?
It's just one of those things that you can't. If I could just bottle that.
Just tell us a bit about the day and how it all worked out.
So I guess it's just
Where did it go to plan, or was it? That's the unexpected things? Or
that's the I guess that's the favor or grace. I think both our children have been sort of born, and it's
all gone
well,
as
well as it can.
So the bag was packed.
All of that. Yeah, and you might know me. I try to be as sort of prepared. So that's why I'm like. It went really well, and all I just remember is just being in the sort of room with my missus. She just wanted to be fanned, and I was just there to hold her hand and reassure her. But again, it's one of those things that no one really prepares you for.
And you can't. I don't think you can put into words that moment of seeing a new life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah. Again, I was saying, if I can sort of bottle that emotion and just keep it and sort of sip on it every day, I think
that would.
Yes, it would. But I think that certainly was like the happiest moment. And obviously my son as well. But that first one's always different. I feel. But so I'd say that, and then become it like getting elected as well. I think. It's one of those. It's quite a weird, and you would know this because it's just a weird thing. The process of you're selected and then you're elected, and then
I think people are unaware of the amount of work that actually has to go into, because it starts even before you get selected. You have to be out delivering leaflets for a few years. You have to build a reputation first.
Absolutely.
So then the point of actually, when you actually say you've won something, you've put quite a number of years of effort
absolutely,
into that. Yeah.
So that was a proud moment. And obviously my dad was in, and we'll probably sort of touch on it, he wasn't here to sort of see it.
Right.
But yeah, I'd say that was another sort of happy moment, but sort of bittersweet moment, I'd say. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because someone you love wasn't there.
Yeah.
And just one more happy. I'll just say, it's often good to say about getting married. That's often.
Say that again.
Getting married.
Getting married.
I was keep married.
She knows.
That's
10
all right.
years.
Yeah,
I'd say. I mean, we'd known each other for such a long time.
Right. Okay.
I think.
Just say about that then.
Yeah, like grew up in the sort of same church. Right. So I've probably known her for like 20 plus, 25 years. We've married, maybe not 25, but 20 plus years. Married for 10 years. And
so the relationship sort of just blossomed over a number of years.
Just organically, naturally. And, she lost her mum quite young. Obviously, I lost my dad in my sort of mid-20s. So all of that kind of happened before we got married. So there was already this sort of strong bond. Yeah. So it was just naturally going to happen. It was just one of those things. So I'd say it's one of the happiest days.
And the wedding day itself.
I mean that's why, because we had 3 weddings, and I don't know if you'd sort of talk to sort of any sort of Nigerian or Asian. I think
so. I was involved with went to bits of Luke's wedding.
Right, you did. Okay,
he had about 3.
Yeah, I saw Luke on. He's been on the show as well, hasn't he? Yeah, he's a phenomenal. Again, just a sort of segue. Great artist as well. I've seen him sort of perform.
It's really, it's really interesting just to see how he's.
Yeah, absolutely. But so the wedding, we had like 3 weddings. We had like a traditional wedding with about 400 people, and then we had a sort of church wedding at my local, the church I used to go to. That was about 100 people, maybe a bit more than that, actually, about 150. And then we had a sort of celebration wedding in Portugal with about 90 close friends and family. So we had 3 weddings, and that's why it's just like...
brilliant.
I was tired by the end of it all, really.
Massive celebration.
Great celebration.
Bringing everybody
everyone had been part of the journey. But that was one of I guess, the days as well.
Excellent.
Comment, like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, vulnerability is the bridge to better relationships. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.